Welcome back to Coding with Zach. In this tutorial, we are going to learn all about loops. We're going to do while loops, for each loops, and nested for loops. So, what's a loop? It basically just loops over something until you tell it to stop. Or more specifically, it kind of repeats a process until a condition is evaluated to false. So, kind of vague. It's easier to look at an example, I think. A while loop is fairly easy to understand. We've got one right here. So, we make a number array of size 10, and we make this integer I, and set that equal to 0. And down here, we have our while loop. So, to do a while loop, you basically just use the word while, and then you do these parentheses, and this section is called your condition. So it's what is going to be evaluated. So in this case, we are saying is I less than number array dot length, which is size 10. So is 0 less than 10, and that is true. And that brings us to this section, great syntax highlighting. And that's the body of the loop. So the body of this loop basically, since the condition, this part, evaluated to true, the body is going to execute, and it's going to say the ith element of number array, so in this case 0, is going to be set equal to I, which is also 0. And then we're going to print that out to the screen, and then we're going to increment I. In a while loop, you have to increment I inside of the loop body. In some other loops, you don't really have to do that. While loops are good for if you're taking user input and you don't necessarily know how large the input is, and a lot of good reasons to use them, but that's a good one. So we're going to compile and run this, and here you'll see each of the elements got pushed to number array. So that's basically a while loop. The next one we're going to look at is a for loop, which is very similar, but a little different. To do it, it also has a condition, which is that part. And basically, you're going to initialize your counting variable or your iterator inside of the condition. So the first part is you're going to say int and then a variable name. So in this case, we did j because I is used. J equals 0, and then you're going to do the condition that it's going to check. So j less than number array.length, and then you're going to increment it j plus plus. You can also do like a plus equals 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and then it'll increment by that amount, but plus plus just means by 1. And then in our loop body, we're going to say number array j, the jth element of number array is going to get set equal to j, and we'll run it, and boom, there you go. It basically does the same thing as the while loop. But it's nice because you could theoretically do plus equals 2, compile and run it, and then see we only have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's a little more control, and then vice versa. You could do a 4, whatever you want to do. So that's the nice part of a for loop. Another sweet loop is this, which is unique to Java. Well, not completely unique to Java, but other languages don't have it, and that's a for each loop. This one's a little hard to understand, so we're saying for again, and then your condition, you basically put the type, so in this case, it's going to be an integer, and then you give it a name, so num or number, and number array. So basically, 4 numbers, or num, in number array, run the body. So in this case, we're going to say num plus equals 10, and then we're going to system out println num. So if we compile and run that, you'll see it's basically just doing 10 for all of them. So it's filling number array with 10. Pretty sweet. Each of the places in number array, which is why there are 10 of them. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if we uncomment this. For some reason, uncomment is a little iffy. Ooh. Oh. Put our comment back in. Do it again. There you go. Now you'll see, because we already put elements in the array with this for loop, when we use our for each loop, it now adds 10 to each of them. So that's pretty wicked too. And the final one is basically a nested for loop, which basically just means that you're putting two for loops inside of each other. So you've got your outer for loop and your inner for loop. And basically, it checks the condition for each of them and then runs the body. I'll show you on this super cool picture. You can think of this as a two-dimensional array. So you've got one array going widthwise, one going height-wise. So if you have these nested loops, like we have right here, you're going to have one for your x, which is going to start at 0, one for your y, which is going to start at 0, or essentially there. And then it's going to go until x is no longer less than picture.getWidth. So basically until here, the end of the picture. And it's going to go up by 1. So that'll execute, and then inside of it is this other for loop, which basically has the y coordinate. So y is 0, and then while y is less than the height, which is down here, y is going to increment. So it'll essentially kind of loop through it like this, where it goes from top to bottom, left to right, like so. And it's going to get this pixel element, and then it's going to set the green to whatever the green is, minus 50, because this sky section seems kind of too big. So we will compile and run that. And you should see, there it is, a picture without very much green in it. And that's basically because it has looped through all of the elements in this two-dimensional array, from top to bottom, left to right, because that's what the loops are. We could have just as easily put in the y first and the x second, and then it would loop through the elements left to right, so that way, and then top to bottom. Because whatever the inner loop is, it's going to execute faster, or that number is going to increase faster. So in this case, it kind of does the entire top to bottom section, and then goes back up the top of this for loop, checks the condition again, and if it's true, then it runs the inner for loop again. So it basically the inner loop just kind of increments faster, but all the elements in the picture are going to get incremented over. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.